Welcome back. This is FrostGuard Cybersecurity. Today, we're diving into a topic that's essential for anyone preparing for the OSCP or OSCP Plus exam. We'll go through the most important steps necessary to perform well on the exam day. Over the years as a team lead, I've seen many passes and failures, sometimes even multiple failures with this exam within my team. While there are many great cheat sheets out there, my bold claim is that most of the people who fail the OSCP exam do so for reasons other than a lack of technical skill. But of course, the most obvious way to fail this exam is to not put in the work required to learn the various sections of the course. The answer to this is very simple and has been covered well enough in thousands of articles and videos. Try harder. But other than not trying hard enough, there are other ways that can ruin your exam. In my opinion, these are the four most critical things to improve on to ensure that you will perform at your best during the exam: stress management, maintaining concentration, time management, and documentation, or really note-taking. Let's break these down one by one. First up, stress management. Stress during the exam is probably the most frequent reason anyone I've talked to has failed this exam, and it doesn't take as much as you'd think. If you get stuck on the first challenge you throw yourself at for too long, it can easily derail your entire exam. So how do you avoid this? Well, for starters, take regular breaks. Schedule short breaks throughout the 24-hour period. Even a 5-minute breather can do wonders for your clarity and focus. These short breaks are much more effective than you think and will help you decompress and keep stress at bay. When coming back from a break, you will have a clearer mindset and a fresh perspective. Other than taking breaks, I love this saying from the military that goes, "Train as you fight." One of the best ways to avoid stress in challenging situations like this exam is to make sure that you have been in similar situations before. Construct a practice environment for yourself that is similar to the actual exam. For example, find 2 lab boxes that seem relevant to the exam, one AD and one web. Then give yourself a time constraint of 8 hours to solve those labs, to get accustomed to working over a longer period of time and also getting used to the time pressure. And as I said earlier, getting stuck early could derail your whole exam. Therefore, start with simpler tasks to build confidence. This will help you gain early points and reduce stress as the exam progresses. To make things easier for yourself, create a checklist that includes tasks like perform Nmap scans on all boxes and cross them off as you go. This gives you a feeling of progression and makes it easier to get into a good flow. And to avoid stress, preparation is key. If you have a plan for the exam, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed. You have likely experienced this when holding presentations or other similar situations. Weak preparation gives you more stress, while better preparation lowers it. So whenever you feel stress starting to build up on you, either take a break or move on to another challenge. Next, let's talk about how to maintain your concentration throughout the exam. First, the obvious. Your brain needs fuel to function at its best, so stay hydrated and eat well. Keep water or other drinks within an arm's reach. Of course, healthy snacks like nuts or fruits are optimal for situations like these, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't eat a lot of candy during certifications that have this exam format. Then, you should try to minimize the number of distractions by making sure your environment is distraction-free. Turn off notifications, clear your desk, and set up a comfortable workspace. This one is easy enough, but will help you stay focused during the day. Break down the exam into manageable time slots. Your brain is very bad at multitasking, so hyper-focusing on one task at a time is far more effective than trying to juggle multiple problems simultaneously. This way, you maintain a sense of control and focus on immediate goals rather than getting overwhelmed. And remember, take breaks to reset, and be careful to not deviate too far from your usual daily routine. If you work out or eat meals at certain times, stick to those habits if possible. It will help maintain your mental rhythm throughout the exam. Now, onto time management, a critical aspect of your exam success. Time management can make or break your performance. Here are a few key tips to keep you on track. First rule, use familiar tools. Exam day is not the time to hunt for the best screenshot tool or experiment with new and fancy note-taking apps. Just stick with what you know to minimize distractions. When I took the exam myself, I used the Windows snipping tool for screenshots, and I had a notepad window open for each target machine. Very basic, but it worked for me. If use tools that you are not used to, it will drain brain power from you. And that is something you just cannot afford. You need all your focus to be on solving the exam, not troubleshooting or organizing your notes. Avoid rabbit holes by setting time limits for each task. If you're stuck on a machine for too long, move on to the next one. You'll prevent yourself from burning valuable time on a single challenge. Don't chase every anomaly you find. First, make sure you get a good overview of all ports and services. Then, focus on the most promising lead first. You don't want to end up in a situation where you spend hours exploiting an old version of OpenSSH when there's an admin portal accessible with default credentials. Remember, you're not required to solve everything. Allocate your time wisely to maximize your score. And finally, documentation. Remember to document as you go by taking notes and screenshots of each step. This is again very important to have practice before taking the exam. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of popping a shell on a box, only to neglect the documentation part and losing out on the points in the report. Make it a habit to take a screenshot and some notes for every step that seems to take you in a good direction. Trust me, you will hate yourself if you end up without enough information to complete your report. Also, prepare a structured template beforehand. Whether you prefer a detailed report format or, like me, you take a bunch of screenshots and jot down quick notes, have a system in place that is easy for you to use. You have 24 hours to write your report, and you probably only need 4 to meet the requirements set by OSCP. Therefore, make sure you document enough to remember your methodology and fulfill all report requirements, but don't spend too much time organizing your notes. You have a much stricter time constraint for the exam than for the report. And lastly, after finishing each box, quickly review your notes and screenshots to ensure you've captured everything needed for your report. OSCP has basic but specific requirements, so make sure you're ticking all the boxes. Failing because of incomplete documentation is probably the most frustrating way to fail. Don't let that be you. So there you have it. Passing the OSCP exam is as much about mental preparedness as it is about technical knowledge. To wrap up, here's your checklist for a well-executed exam. Take regular breaks. Perform practice runs by simulating exam conditions. Prioritize easy wins to get into a good flow. Preparation is key to avoid stress. Stay hydrated and eat well. Minimize distractions. Outline a structure for the exam day. Manage your focus by taking breaks when necessary. Use familiar tools. Avoid rabbit holes by first getting an overview of the target. Then, choose the most likely attack path first. If you are stuck on one path for too long, move on or take a break before continuing. Document as you go. Use a structured or simple template for documentation. Check that you fulfill all exam requirements after finishing a box. This checklist and the full article can also be found in the link below. Keep calm, stay focused, and try harder.